Hello and welcome to video diary number 9. I apologize for the crappy lighting and for whatever this is. It's quite late and I'm just after coming back from the theatre with my sister. We went to see Spamalot and I left this video until quite late. Hopefully this isn't too messy or long of a video. So I've had 9 classes and it feels like much longer because so much more time has passed. So much more than 9 weeks has gone by because it's every second class. But today we had class with an excellent director called Mangan, and I've heard of her name before we were told she would take one of our classes. So I was very excited to meet her finally. And she was fantastic. I really loved her. I always say like her vibe, someone's vibe, okay? And people laugh, but I don't know, I'm genuine about it. Like how someone comes off and the kind of, I don't know, atmosphere and feeling they ooze. Ugh, it's a horrible word, but they kind of radiate, different vibes to different people. So I really liked her. She's like, a hard-ass director, I can tell, but also like such a powerhouse of like ideas and experience and I don't know, just creativity and knowledge. So it was really nice. I wish I could get to interact with her more. I'd love to see her work so much. I'm just happy I got to meet her today, and she took the whole class, and it was very active and, physical as well, because she is all about site-specific theater, which is, I don't even know if I can have the dictionary definition of it, but it's theater that can happen or happens or responds to a specific space, venue, or area. So it can literally be performed in like a specific forest or in a castle somewhere or at a farmhouse or someone's sitting room, or just a different kind of theater, but it like specifically responds to the specific site, hence the name site specific theater. We, talked about her work. She showed us videos of it and told us briefly how, that idea came together, who worked on it, that kind of thing. It was all very fascinating and eye-opening, and I love this kind of stuff. Site-specific theater appeals to me the way it does kind of to her. Yes, I did literature in university. Yes, I love books. Yes, I'm a book nerd and I love reading, but I always found scripts a bit boring and tedious, and having to prepare my own performance in 3 months and having to read through the script that I want to do with actors is pissing me off. And, I just want to pull like an Anthony Hopkins on it and just read the script like 500 times over and over, so I just know it inside out, back to front. But the thought of that kills me. I love the play, but the idea of just sitting there reading through it 1,000 times makes me want to die a little bit. And I totally understand. Jo today was just saying how she hates scripts and she never works with them, and she finds them so restrictive, and their stage directions of the author telling you where to go, what to do, or what the character wears, or something like that. And yes, there's always freedom to do whatever you want creatively, but also sometimes there isn't, and some people don't like being told what to do at all. I like a bit of structure, but I can totally understand the appeal of just writing and creating something from scratch with a playwright and actors. It sounds fascinating. The work she did sounded really fascinating, really expensive. I won't be seeing that kind of budget in a very long time. But yeah, she's doing so well, and it's great to see a female director. And one day we'll stop saying male and female directors, but right now that's kind of really important. She's been the second female director to come and talk to us in this course, I think. But, even then, this 2 out of whatever is, you know, an impressive number, and it's still good to see female representation. And there's nowhere near enough female directors all around the world, so, you know, one of the reasons why I want to be one so bad, I think, just, you know, to represent women. Today it forced me outside my comfort zone again. It made me think a lot. And this was another thing. I came home and I could feel my brain could actively feel like my brain working and turning little wheels and cogs. And I just sat there in the kitchen after class, kind of, like, I should have this feeling more often, that I'm kind of exhausted from mentally trying to create and think things and imagine things. So, like, what the hell is my brain doing all the other time? Is it just sitting there idly, not turning anything? I don't know. I mean, it's good that these classes get me work. Get me work. It's good that these classes get me to work and think and get these little wheels and cogs turning, but also then it worries me that I'm not doing that all the other time, or the rest of the time. I don't know. But my brain was worked today, and we got to pitch an idea for our own new play that would be site responsive, and, you know, we threw around so many ideas for new kind of pieces, you know, not that we were going to do them, but we came up with things together which were really, really fascinating. She gave us lots of tips. Like, the most important thing to her is getting the casting right. And even before you cast the actors, to find and cast a really good stage manager, because that's going to be your right hand. She just gave us lots of visual images as well. Said you could, you know, if there's another tip was, you know, like, if there's a very crucial moment in a play, whatever it is, like a line, an image, an event, or something you want to, you know, emphasize to the audience, you can kind of repeat that like an image or a motif throughout the play, not just at the end. Yeah, we just talked about with her how, you know, you're different things to every actor. In my own personal research about like directors talking about directors, I've come across this quite a few times, that, you know, directors will acknowledge that, you know, you're like a therapist, a friend, a parent, a coordinator, a teacher, and everything. And you just wear a bunch of different hats as a director. And you're not qualified to wear all the hats, but you do wear them to, you know, many different people, which is kind of horrifying. I just hope I'm really cut out for this job, because I know deep down things in my personality and in my core kind of go against who you need to be a director and to run this successfully. And when I say like run this, I mean like run the gig. Like, I want to run my own theater, so I really worry that my personality traits, or like some of them, are going to stop me from being like a really successful, you know, not let anyone push me around kind of director. But I can't, there's no way of knowing that. I can't look into the future and see whether I developed enough as a person in the next few years to do this, or to develop certain skills that I don't have currently. I don't know. And that's terrifying, but also exciting, because I really like personal growth, and I did so much developing and growing last year in 1 year alone. So I'm excited to see, you know, how much better at it I get as I get older. But of course, my lack of experience as a director right now is also horrifying, and it's kind of consuming me because I have to start rehearsals soon. So I'm just horrified a little bit deep down. It's like this little, like a wave building inside or something. It's just constantly like fluttering within me somewhere. I don't like it, but I can like put it aside. It's not as strong right now. I just hope it doesn't get any stronger, because things are just bound to get more chaotic as the next few months go by. I'm just telling myself that it's going to be my directing debut no matter how it goes, and that's going to be a big first step, and I'm treating myself with a theater related tattoo as a present to myself for completing this project, whether it crashes and burns or not. And I keep repeating that. I really hope it doesn't crash and burn, because it cannot. I refuse, and I think I can do good. But yeah, it's also like intimidating and horrifying, and I don't know how I'm going to be in the first rehearsal. It freaks me out. But yeah, today was a really good class, and I got to think about and talk about fairy tales, and I got to play my favorite song for the class, because that was like what inspired the idea for a play me and someone else came up with. Let's see. This is why you have to do these videos straight after class, because everything is still fresh in your mind. I guess today was also good. I think I mentioned this in one of the diaries already, that, you know, when you're forced to sit down and get those cogs running in your head, you're forced into like a creative space where you just have to think and imagine things. And we don't give ourselves the luxury of doing that a lot anymore. You know, as a kid, you sit and daydream or imagine or draw or play much more than we do now, obviously. So it's kind of nice to just sit down and know that you still can imagine things, and your imagination is working as well as ever, because to me it's always been a very important part of me. I was just always a creative person, and my imagination was always there for me. As cheesy as that may sound, I don't know. I love my imagination, and I love imagining and thinking things up and dreaming things up. That's not the hardest part. The hardest part is then, you know, being bombarded by reality and logic and having to figure out, you know, what can I actually do realistically, and how am I going to do that realistically, and all that. I'm a dreamer. I can dream up things, but I need to learn how to actually take action and put them into being. Today Joe made us pitch the idea of the play at the end. She said, take this as a business meeting, and you're all presenting your idea for, you know, in order to get funding. God, I got so nervous just before going up, but it was over quite quickly, and it didn't go too badly. I didn't muck it up. But yeah, when I talk in front of the class, it doesn't seem to go as smoothly as I want it to. I think I still have nerves to conquer. And I don't know if it's just like self-doubt with some kind of... I know I deal with a lot of self-doubt and stuff like that, but I don't know, when I present things, maybe some kind of deeply rooted, oh, I worry that this isn't going to be good enough kind of thing. I don't know. And I kind of stumble a lot when I speak or something. It's not as bad as I imagine, I guess, and nobody's worried about it except me. But yeah, so yeah, we did a slight business meeting thing. It was great. Like, there's so many ideas that can come out of, you know, you and 3 other people. And then I just kept popping out ideas, but they weren't going anywhere because I couldn't do anything with them except maybe write them down in my notebook and maybe come back to these things years later and actually try and make the idea into a reality. A lot of really good ideas are coming out of people. It was great to see everyone come up with things and new possible projects. We just talked about, you know, the funding for arts in Ireland and how grim that situation is, and how Ireland gets the least amount of funding in Europe for arts, which is just so upsetting. So yeah, but that's a whole other... That made me a little insecure, because I realized I'm aware of like the basic... I don't know how to even describe this. I'm aware that, you know, the arts are, you know, underfunded, that there's no emphasis on them in schools. Like, I do talk about this to my friends, that, you know, the arts in university are looked down upon if you do an arts degree, which is like simply, you know, a humanitarian or non-scientific or mathematical subject. you know, like languages, history, art history and art, music, and English all fall in under that arts degree category. And the arts degree is so looked down upon by people, you know? Like, I have an arts degree, I have a BA in English, but it's basically worthless, and it's the most expensive piece of paper I'll ever own. And when you say that, or, you know, people kind of look at you and just be like, oh, an arts degree, like, good luck working at McDonald's. There's a lot of that going around, like, when people go in to do these degrees. There's that kind of idea behind it, like, oh, good luck, you know, McDonald's, and what the hell are you ever gonna get out of that kind of attitude to it. And I know that you know, obviously there's, you know, theaters are having problems, and the arts are definitely underfunded, and schools don't have enough artistic subjects as proper subjects, and everything has to be paid for and done in your own time as a hobby, and that's only if certain children and teenagers kind of parents can afford it. There's a whole lot of problems with it, and it's why the training for whatever kind of creative career you want here isn't as good as other European countries or in the States, where, you know, you're given more opportunity to train in these areas. But we kind of touched off that today, and we're talking about that. But yeah, when Joe was talking about kind of it, she was talking about it like politically, and, you know, giving statistics and numbers and talking about charters and things like that. And I got really insecure thinking, oh my God, like, this is something I really, really want to know about and understand, but I really, like, have trouble following what she's saying. I should probably look into it and see if I can understand it and find out about all this, because I'd love to, like, advocate for the arts, obviously, and for funding, and trying and, like, I'm gonna spend the rest of my life trying to, you know, work in theater and do other creative things, because that's all I am, and all I need to do. So I'm gonna try for my entire life, you know, inspire people to do creative things, to, you know, try and get funding for artistic things and the arts. But yeah, I should probably just learn more about that. So what the hell is actually happening politically and all that. So this video is quite long, and I apologize. I should probably wrap it up here. Thank you for being here once again, and this was video diary number 9 after my 9th directing class, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.